Barbara, it is absolutely beautiful. As you can see, haze in the distance, so where the wind is not blowing, we may see a little bit of marine layer. Temperatures today, look at this. This is interesting. Santa Barbara and Goleta, put a little asterisk next to that because of the wind right now. We already are getting into some low 80s in some areas. I'll show you that in a second. So 70s, 60s mostly, but again, because of the wind, we are seeing some fluctuations as we speak. Pismo is one of the cooler spots at 66, and Paso Robles officially at 83 degrees. Again, wind advisory for the mountains of Santa Barbara, the usual suspects of the south coast, and then down into Ventura County until very early tomorrow morning. Winds are not very strong right now. We are getting some gusts, though, on the front range, which would be the sort of the north side of the San Ynez range, which means that they will start to come over the top and really accelerate and move down slopes. So this is where you start to get the sort of the funky weather, or the little microclimates, if you will. Look at Gaviota back towards Santa Barbara. Probably won't cool off a whole lot compared to your neighbors to the north and west, and even Goleta right there at 83 degrees. And look at this as well. Look at how dry it gets compared to those areas that are getting the wind off the ocean in at least a slightly, both Ventura County back up to the central coast. Then you look right here where those winds are coming offshore, and it really just turns things bone dry. So a big area of low pressure well to our north. It's going to continue to drive storms into the Pacific Northwest. And as it does, we start to see a setup where they get the rain. We end up getting much of the energy behind it, which is the tight isobar lines, or lines of pressure, and that gives us a strong northerly flow. So we're going to see that happening over the next at least 3 to 5 days, maybe even beyond that, before we get to about next weekend, where we'll then expect to see more of a straight west flow. So a warm up coming, windy conditions, and we stay very dry. We don't really see much in the way of a threat for rain. Cloud cover will likely be just the marine layer the next couple of days, and we'll go ahead and look at that and stop it tomorrow morning. There it is right there along the central coast, but you'll notice it's absent once you go south of Point Conception. Could show up in Ventura County. And then on Monday, watch how fast this really blows out. Just a couple little puffs of fog try to show up early Monday morning. Otherwise, it goes away quickly. And this is because of the northerly flow. And watch how you can see the Channel Islands really windy, and then along the front of the coastal ranges, up into the Tehachapis, and then up into the southern Sierra. That's the telltale sign of a strong northerly flow. So that's, again, what we're expecting. Now, temperatures on Sunday, look at this, will go kind of a mix match depending on where those offshore winds are. You'll see mostly 60s and 70s, but again, we get our microclimates every time we get that northerly flow, especially along the Santa Barbara south coast. Monday, it looks really nice and kind of quiet and mild, warm inland. Beaches not too bad. And then as we get to those 7 days, and I'll show you that in a moment, we do expect to see a pretty strong warm-up coming by the middle of the week. So sunny, keeping an eye on the winds over the next several days, but for tomorrow as well, especially along the Santa Barbara south coast. Those winds typically blow in an offshore direction, so they can kind of blow you around the highways and also give us some very warm weather. So we'll keep an eye on that. Look how beautiful Ojai tomorrow, again, into the 80s. They get the north wind as well. AM fog is possible for the beaches, not likely for Ventura County, probably more for the central coast. And your surf, well, a lot of wave energy out there out of the northwest. Ground swell is probably in there too, but it looks mostly just like kind of a haphazard wind swell, but there is something to ride. And a quick look at our 7-day forecast. Again, we'll keep the wind in the mix, especially for Santa Barbara, and that warm up showing up about Wednesday and Thursday. Look at that, boy, those are the warm spot days for sure. A little rumor at the National Weather Service that many areas of Southern California could see record temperatures on about Wednesday or Thursday. And that says a lot, because May is typically can be a very warm month. So, boy, if you like warm weather, it's going to come back as we head toward the middle of next week. And again, everybody's going to see that. We could see a little bit of fog again for the central coast, and then that warm up with winds in the background pretty much all the way through much of next week until we get to about next weekend. So we'll stop on beautiful Lompoc, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.